I ain't gonna say all of this. You ready? Yes, sir. Good afternoon. And we're glad and pleased that everybody is here today. I'm Glenn Adams, Chairman of the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners. I stand here with the Mayor of Fayetteville, Mayor Nat Robinson, as we address the citizens of our community. As you remember, our community was rocked by Hurricane Matthew less than a year ago. We understand what devastation is and what devastation looks like. So our county and city staff, as well as our partners, have gained valuable experience during Hurricane Matthew, and we want to mitigate as much devastation as possible while also being ready for Hurricane Irma. And so yesterday, Governor Roy Cooper declared a state of emergency. And just as he did, I want to stress to the residents to check and restock their emergency supplies such as water, non-perishable food, phones, chargers, flashlights, batteries, blankets, and sleeping bags. In addition to your supplies, make sure that you have plans in place for different scenarios that might be caused by the hurricane. And what we want you to know is that your city and county staff, and they're all here, and emergency management have taken every precaution to make sure that this community is as safe as we can. We do not know what direction this hurricane is going to take, but the one thing we do know is that we will be here for every citizen in Cumberland County and in the city of Fayetteville. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mayor Robinson, who addressed the citizens of Fayetteville. Mayor Robinson.
Thank you, Chairman Adams. Hope everybody's doing well. First, I'd like to thank the media for doing what you do, because it's the information that you push out to our residents that allows them the opportunity to prepare for hurricanes like what we're facing right now. And of course, we learned so much with Hurricane Matthew just about a year ago on lessons learned, what we need to do, how to prepare. I can tell you that my job as mayor and the city council's job as elected officials is to make sure that all of our residents remain safe and protected and informed. If you're not in town or have to leave town, our primary job is to make sure your property and assets remain safe and protected. So we're on the job. We want to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. We want to make sure that you are prepared for this inclement weather, whatever it may be, and we'll keep our eyes on that. Would like to remind everyone, please, to sign up for Cumberland Alerts. It is very important that you are able to receive instantaneous messages as it relates to your well-being and what's going on in the community. Would like to also remind you to keep your eye on live media, television, and reliable social media outlets such as the Fayetteville Police Department and the Fayetteville Fire Emergency Services Twitter page and Facebook pages. They will keep those updated and posted regularly. I would also like to commend the first responders and the police and the fire and the sheriff's department who won't get a day off for the next week and a half. And it's very important that we remember the jobs that they do and how much we appreciate their service. So thank you, Chairman. Look forward. I shouldn't say that. I don't look forward to working with you, but unfortunately we'll be working together for the next week.
But we want you to know that it's just not us. We've got county commissioners. Commissioner Evans is here. We've got city council personnel, Mayor Pro Tem Colvin, City Councilman Jensen, and City Councilman Deviere. And we're going to let the staff come up, because we may be the face, but these are the guys who do the work.
Absolutely.
And they make us look good.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, press. Thank you for your interest in making sure that our citizens are safe, and that's most important. Final plans for preparation should be being completed by no later than tomorrow afternoon. Our staff, emergency management staff, emergency services, with all of its partners, are constantly monitoring all of the reliable news weather services, North Carolina Emergency Management. We are having regular meetings. We have been meeting staff-wise since yesterday, making sure that all of the emergency operation plans are in place, that preparations are being finalized. We are having control group meetings. We had our meetings with the shelter partners today, this morning, in preparation for, and if needed, sheltering will be open appropriately when needed and if needed. As all of the citizens have been watching the news bureaus, we recognize that the storm tracking has a lot of variability. We still are a good 3 days or more away from determining where that track may fall. We do not want our citizens to let their guard down. They need to be in a state of readiness at all times. As the mayor mentioned earlier, we ask all the public to please consider Cumberland Alerts. You can find that website by going to the Cumberland County website of www.co.cumberland.nc.us. When you arrive at that web page, you will go to the top left corner and you will click on that. It is a self-serve opportunity for you to receive alerts, not only for hurricane warnings, flash floods, and other weather events such as severe thunderstorms. We ask you to take that time and to do that as soon as possible. It's also about neighbor helping neighbor, grandchildren helping their grandparents who may not have a computer, those people who have smartphones. There are other avenues in which you can reach that web page and sign up for Cumberland Alerts. That's very important. Social media has also been mentioned. Social media that is also with the city is also with Cumberland County through Twitter and through Facebook page. Please follow us there. As some of you may not realize, because we're so reliant upon electricity, we may lose power for a number of days depending on the wind event, depending on where the storm may track. Televisions will not be available. ATMs may not be available. So you need to make sure that you have your 72-hour kit in place and ready to evacuate if needed. You need to be familiar with your surroundings. You need to know where areas may flood. We know what Hurricane Matthew did to us. We realize that that was in excess of a 500-year event. Not saying that we will have Matthew this time around, but we need to be ready and prepared. It is ever present on our mind today. As we go through the next few days, neighbor helping neighbor, be aware of your surroundings, rely upon reliable sources of news and weather reporting, and we ourselves will continue to let the public know through social media and the news broadcast area. Thank you very much, and I will turn this over to Cumberland County's Emergency Services contact.
Good afternoon. I'm Scott Bullard with the City of Fayetteville. And the only thing I would add on top of what Mr. Beeman from Cumberland County just said to you, social media is important. In the Android or the Apple iStores, there's an app that is free called ReadyNC that is offered by the state of North Carolina. Really important to download that if you have a smartphone, because it will give you some information that we don't necessarily provide here locally, but it might benefit you, such as shelter locations and other information that might not be directly from us. I'm going to limit my remarks to one key thing, and that one item is we have a luxury and a blessing sitting before us right now. We've got advance notice of what's coming. You don't have that in other situations, so we need to capitalize on it now, not wait till Monday morning or late Sunday night. The time is now. You got 3 days to do what you need to do to prepare your families, let loved ones know what's going on. If you have pets or special needs, communicate those and look after your neighbors, and just to simply prepare. I'm going to turn it over now to Sheriff Ennis Wright from Cumberland County Sheriff's Office.
Good afternoon, Sheriff Ennis Wright. What I want to say is just comment on what they said. Just like Hurricane Matthews, it came through. The sheriff office here and my personnel are going to be working 24/7. I want the citizens of Cumberland County to know that we're here ready to work. This is nothing new. Law enforcement, myself, city, we prepare for these things. So be assured that we're here for you. Again, though, like Mr. Beeman said, if we have to get hit by this storm, and if you know that you live in a flooded area, if they open these shelters, go to the shelters. Don't become a victim where then we have to send somebody out there to get you. So make sure that you listen to the news. Again, we have checked all our generators, make sure they're powered up. Again, we have the detention center sitting over there. All the equipment has been checked over there also. Again, I want to say my deputies are ready and prepared to go to work. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Anthony Kelly, Assistant Chief, Fayetteville Police Department. I'll go through some things that has already been said before, but I just want to say, let's just use common sense. You know, we know the areas that are prone to flooding in the city limits of Fayetteville. You know, city staff will have equipment and personnel out there blocking those roads for a reason, not to go through them. So if we have barricades on roads that are flooded, don't go around them. Because what you do when you do that is you put first responders' lives in danger. We're asking you not to do that to us. Be mindful of your safety, but be mindful of our safety as well. Please ensure your property is secure. God forbid, if we have to evacuate areas of the city, make sure you document your property through video or photography. Jot down the serial numbers. That way, if God forbid something happens to where you have to make an insurance claim, you have verification of the property that you have. Make sure you document the things that you have that are valuable to you. Make sure you're taking things with you like your birth certificate, your social security card, cash, medicine. Those simple things that get you through the day-to-day operations of your life, make sure you have those with you. Call 911 when you need to. Now is the time not to have silly calls to 911. The communication center from the county and the city will be inundated with calls for service. Think about your fellow citizens who will need 911 for real. So we will answer those calls based on priority, but please use 911 when you need it for emergencies. These are situations to where life and death comes into play. We want to make sure that we do not lose a life in this storm. Last but not least, take care of yourself, take care of your family members, and watch out for your neighbors. You know, this day and age, we don't know our neighbors like we should. So if you got an elderly neighbor, a handicapped neighbor who may not have any family, be nice, be kind, go check on them, see if they need anything. If you can't provide something for them, call your officials here in the city and the county, and we'll do what we can to help them. Thank you. Next, I'll have Mr. Trago from PwC.
I'm Dave Trago. I'm the general manager from PwC. We are the primary electric, water, and wastewater supplier here in Fayetteville and Cumberland County. And I just want to say that we have making all preparations to serve our customers and to aid them and to make sure that we can maintain and get their utility service back on should it be interrupted. As we all know, each storm is unique. If you were able to have service maintained and you weren't that impacted by Matthew, do not assume that you will not be impacted by this storm. This storm, while right now is not that much of a rain event, it is a wind event, which can impact electric service significantly. We are preparing for all eventuality, especially having some power outages in our area. I just want to remind the citizens that if there are power lines on the ground, stay away from them. Assume that they are energized. Call us. Call your utility provider and let us know if you are without a service or if there are lines on the ground. Track us on social media to find out what's going on. That is a big help to us because it keeps the calls down in our call center. And most importantly, if you're like myself and you have an emergency generator, make sure that you operate that emergency generator safely, have it tested. Do not operate it inside your house and connect it safely to your home because we don't want to have a tragedy that's unexpected like that. Thank you.
Before we take questions from the folks up here, I'd just like to reiterate one thing. For all the folks behind me here, from a city perspective, from a county perspective, from PwC, everything that you need to find during whatever may happen is going to be found on our website. So from the county website, co.cumberland.nc.us, for the city of Fayetteville, fayetteville.nc.gov, and then PwC's website. All of us public affairs folks work together and put out all the information that these folks back here have 24/7. So those press releases are coming out. They're geared towards the media. They're geared towards our residents. And again, as you've heard it say again and again from the chairman to the mayor and everybody else up here, social media. So when we did lose power, and if Mr. Trago's folks can't keep the electric going for whatever reason, Then we do have phones that can be charged in your cars, can be charged in other places, so you've always got social media to go to, and I think all of our sites are mobile friendly. So I would encourage you to go there, encourage residents to go there. That's the place to stay informed. At this time, we'll take any questions you have of the folks up here, so please identify who you are and who you're interested in asking a question of.
I guess there's no questions, so, got one.
Robert Richardson with CBS North Carolina. What sort of plans have been made with the schools as far as any school closings or announcements?
I would tell you that it's probably too early for us to have any of that information. The city's monitoring the storm, the school board is monitoring the storm just as we are. As we get closer to the event, we'll be able to provide that information for you. Any other questions? You know, did you have one?
Shelters, do you know ahead of time where they will be? And they will list them.
Who's doing my shelters? Who's doing the shelters?
Currently, we are looking at our shelters that would be 71st High School, Southview High School, Smith Rec Center, Kiwanis is a potential, and then as we move forward, we may open additional ones. There are several more. If you go out on the Emergency Operation Plan site under Cumberland County, you will see those listed. But we want to be very careful that we protect our citizenry and make sure that they are available at the appropriate time.
Do you have any idea how many people those shelters will hold, can hold?
Each of the shelters have different levels, some at 200, some at 100, and in between that, and then there are a few just a little bit greater than that. And while we're speaking about shelters, let me make sure and people understand that if you need to bring a pillow, a blanket, you also need to make sure that you have personal hygiene items that you bring with you. You've already heard about bringing medications, medicine, and also it was also mentioned by law enforcement several times that your personal records and documents also need to be taken with you, and it's also wise because of the rain and the wind that you secure those in a plastic wrap or in a plastic bag so that they won't be wet. But those items will be needed with you, and then there's the check-in process, certainly. So those are great concerns that you need to think about when you're moving to a shelter situation.
Will the shelters be pet friendly?
We are working with that, and we will be meeting with our animal control folks a little bit later today, and we do anticipate that opportunity. Yes, sir.
As you likely know, most supermarkets are already out of water. Is there anything, water saving? Is there anything city and county local governments can do to acquire supplies of water on behalf of public?
What we would do there, the question is, I'm not sure if everyone's hearing the question about water supply, bottled water, water accessibility, because of the free market, and most of the water supplies are depleted in the grocery areas as of today. We have the ability through the North Carolina Emergency Management Group to request additional water shipments if the need so arises. We do try to allow the free marketplace to take care of those needs until that disaster comes.
Any other questions? You know, it's on a day like today, and it is a beautiful day, but that the mayor and I are glad to be leaders of this community because of these men and women in Cumberland County that are here to take care of our citizens. And they do it 24/7, and they do it without regard to their life and limb to protect the citizens. And so I want to just tell you all, we are proud of you all for what y'all do on a daily basis.
Every day.
Never forget that on a daily basis. And with that, we'll say thank you so very much. And thank you to the media, because without you, we can't get this message out. So thank you so very much.
We do have one more message, Chairman. That's your challenge that you gave me earlier.
That's right.
The chairman and I have challenged each other to see how many storm drains we could each clear. So be a good neighbor and check on your neighbor now, check on them after the storm, but check on their storm drain as well. Make sure it's clear of debris and pine straw. So as this water comes down, as it rains and washes down the street, we can make sure that those storm drains are clear and that water gets off the road. Thank you so much. Appreciate each and every one of you being here and the stories that you tell. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.